friends, Tony back again. I want to share with you a blunder of our household. I'm just going to get really real with you and raw with you. For those that know about my family, I have a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old right now. My 10-year-old, he is the most honest of all kids that you could come across. He is like straight A, just totally honest, wants to do what's right. If you need the truth, you go to him and you say, hey, what's the truth? And he'll tell you the truth. Now you go on the other end, the flip end. Like if you could just create two opposites, then that's the 6-year-old. The 6-year-old is the exact opposite of my 10-year-old. I could never tell when the kid's telling the truth. But here's the craziness about my 6-year-old. The creativity out of that kid is insane. It's insane what this kid comes up with in his head and how his vocabulary changes, some of the things that comes out of his mouth. Now, we did correct him on this, so I want you to know, but you have to embrace your kids. That's what I want you to understand today. Embrace their uniqueness. Embrace who they are. Correct them. But we tend too much to want to beat them down to where they are submissive and they follow us and you will do. And what that does is it beats the whole creativity out of them. That when they're your age and my age, they're not creative anymore, or they at least believe they're not creative. And so be very careful what you're doing with your kids. And so there was an experience, it happened over the weekend. So my sons are playing baseball out in front. And, my 10-year-old is pitching to my 6-year-old, and my 6-year-old's hitting the ball. Well, my 10-year-old threw the ball a little too low, below the belt per se. And my 6-year-old comes running into the house, just screaming that he just got hit in the family jewels. And by the way, he doesn't cry when he gets hurt. He gets mad. He gets angry when he gets hurt. And so he's coming to the house and he's just yelling at the top of his lungs, I got hit in the family jewels. And he didn't say that. He's used the other couple of choice words there. But it was hilarious. It was so funny. And so my wife, she just busted up laughing at him. Just laughing because of, how he had come into the house. And my son is now just getting more angry because someone's laughing at him that should be consoling and helping him. And so he looks at my wife and he just says, stop laughing at me, a-hole. No, he didn't use just a-hole. He went through the whole word. And my wife just pointed. And as she's pointing, obviously she's pointing right to timeout, but she is just trying so hard not to laugh. And so my son got some privileges taken away from him. But then she comes upstairs and she is just crying because she's laughing so hard. And my point is this. Are you laughing or are you reprimanding? Are you taking the moments to enjoy the moment? Or are you trying to control the moment for some future that you don't even know yet? You don't know how your kids are going to turn out. But we tend to just control the situation to say, this is the way that it should be. And we just yank all of the creativity out of them. And it reminds me, I think I've shared this quote before on a segment, but I'll share it again. It's by Buckminster Fuller. He shared this. He said, all children are born geniuses. 9,999 out of every 10,000 are swiftly, inadvertently degeniusized by adults. And I see that all over the place. I see that kids want to be creative. They want to share their expressions. They want to do it in the way they want to do it. Now, there's some that are inappropriate, some that are appropriate, but it's something we can fix. It's not something that he's doing something completely bad. We can fix his vocabulary, but too many parents want to just smother their children. And I hope you can learn how to nourish the creativity of your children and allow them to express themselves, even if it is with the family jewels and a-holes, right? Just let them express themselves and then obviously correct them. But too many times we push them down instead of build them up. And the way you see your children today will be the way you treat your children today. And the way you treat your children today will be how they treat themselves when they're adults. And how they see themselves is when they're adults. So be very careful how you see and how you treat your children. They're amazing kids. I love my two boys. I love them to death. They're totally opposites, but I love both of them. And hopefully you can take a little bit, if nothing else, you got a little laugh today. This was your laughter moment, but hopefully you got a couple nuggets from it. Thanks. We'll chat soon.